Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dr. Brandon Schreiner, Maximize Living Doctor, right here in Lewis Center, Ohio, coming at you today with another tip of the week. Today, I want to talk about this concept of intermittent fasting. So, if you're on the 28-day challenge with us, this is a concept that we introduced to you maybe for the first time. Those of you who've been patients in our office for years, I talk about this a lot. This is the way that I eat most of my life, probably will for the rest of my life. And so I want to talk about that a little bit because even since starting the challenge, some of you are getting questions. You're going to church and people are asking you, why haven't you eaten breakfast? Or, you're going to school or whatever, and the teachers are asking you, so why didn't you have breakfast this morning? Isn't breakfast the most important meal of the day? And so I want to talk about intermittent fasting, and with the help of my friend Dr. Mercola. And so today I just want to talk about the concept of intermittent fasting. So the reason why I like intermittent fasting is because it's the closest way of eating that kind of parallels our ancestors and how our ancestors used to eat. And so when we get away from how we used to do things and we kind of start reinventing the wheel, bad things happen. Less is more. And so if you think about this concept of that, back in biblical times, we didn't have access to grocery stores, we didn't have access to, a refrigerator full of food. And so because of that, we didn't have time to eat every 2 hours, and we had to go hunt, kill our food, and so this whole feast and famine concept was real life. And today we really don't experience famine unless you go into other third world countries, and so we eat way too much. And so intermittent fasting is a great way to be able to give yourself a break. I'm going to give you some tips here. I'm just kind of going over some of my notes, but intermittent fasting, I'm going to give you some reasons why intermittent fasting is so good. The first one is it gets rid of sugar cravings because it gets your body from switching over from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner. So that intermittent fasting, or that 16 hours of fasting, helps kind of deplete your body of glycogen, and we start to burn fat. The other thing is that it builds muscle. Reason why a study had said that intermittent fasting actually boosts your testosterone and natural growth hormone by up to 1,000%, which is huge. And the reason why that is because we don't have so much sugar floating around our bloodstream. We start to spike, and we start eating more fat. Combining with intermittent fasting, we're getting this natural boost in growth hormone and testosterone. The other thing that is that it enhances brain health, and it decreases our risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. And the reason why this is big is because your gut is connected to your brain. It's called this gut-brain axis. And so when we're constantly eating food, our brain has to work really hard. And so the less food that we eat, the less our brain has to work. And when we are eating good fatty foods like coconut oil and avocados and fresh fish and grass-fed meats and raw cheeses and lots of green leafy vegetables with plenty of exercise, really stimulates the growth of our brain, and we don't start to deteriorate like most people that we see are now today. The other thing is that it reduces oxidative stress and fights aging like cancer. So intermittent fasting, like I said, decreases glycogen within the body. And if you know anything about cancer, cancer feeds on sugar. And so if I am fasting and I'm not constantly putting food in my body, then my body isn't using sugar as a fuel source, and therefore I'm driving a fat into the cell, which is an amazing way to be able to detoxify a cell, because the metabolism of a cancer cell feeds on sugar, hates fat. The other thing is that it delivers an array of physiological benefits like lowering triglycerides and inflammation and free radical damage. So this all goes back to sugar in the bloodstream. The biggest reason why it is that I don't like to eat every 2 hours is because every time you eat, you're going to raise your blood sugar. Your body has to work harder, and so this whole triglyceride thing, the reason why intermittent fasting is so good at bringing down blood pressure, triglycerides, and somebody who's trying to fight cancer or even like dementia, Alzheimer's, is because the periods of feast and famine, the famine part is where your body is really a lower caloric intake, which means that your body doesn't have to work hard, your gut and your brain. And like I said, you're switching over from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner because your body has to rely on fat as a long-term energy source instead of these quick bursts of sugar. So that's intermittent fasting. What I like to do is I like to do my first meal will be around 11 to 12 o'clock, and my last meal will be anywhere from 7 to 8 o'clock, and then I'll fast all the way until the next day. So I'm eating good, healthy food. Actually, as an example, this is one of my favorite snacks to have. Around 12, 1 o'clock is my venison. So this is my wild deer venison with avocado, sea salt, and pepper, and then I'll just, I'll house, quite a few of these as I'm just kind of hanging out. So I'm a hunter-gatherer. That's who we are as human beings. We're hunters and gatherers. We're not grazers. So you have to think about that. And so breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. We woke up when the sun came up, and we go to bed when the sun went down. We didn't eat bacon and eggs at 5 o'clock in the morning. So just think about those concepts. And if you have more information on intermittent fasting, you can go to revivechiro.life. That's our kind of podcast, radio shows. I've done all kinds of stuff on that. You can visit us on Facebook, // Renew, Rebuild, Revive, and like our page and give us our feedback and comments. You can go to our YouTube page, Revive Chiropractic. We have all kinds of stuff. These videos are actually uploaded onto YouTube for you, so you can rewatch these. And share this with a friend. Share this with someone you love and care about, and somebody who can use this. Until next week, I'm Dr. Brandon. Have a blessed day.